Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value, and if you're looking for undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe. So today I'm going to go over gold and silver. I'm going to do a technical analysis. We'll look at the 10-year yield, we'll look at the dollar, and then we'll look at some ETFs and some individual stocks. So let's jump right in and see what I've got. So here we go. Gold and silver technical analysis. The 10-year is just continuing to kind of flop sideways to lower. And what I am expecting is the 10-year to go higher at some point. But I don't know, perhaps the bond market is looking at something that I'm not seeing. Perhaps deflation's around the corner. And where I'm looking next is I'm looking at the price of gold. We've been watching that quite substantially on this channel, but also look at the housing starts and home prices. And I'm going to come out with another clip going over those market conditions. But as far as I can tell, I don't know why the 10-year would be going down unless they're in there buying it. We have inflation. We've got high real negative rates. All the conditions are in place for gold and silver to go higher. The dollar, this is the only thing that isn't necessarily moving along in the direction that we want. The dollar is down today, which resulted in an increase of gold and silver in terms of pricing. It has gone up with the dollar going down, but we've been in a short-term little, we'll call it a corrective state to the upside. And you can see this on the 3-month down in this bottom chart. We broke the downtrend and we've been moving up on the very short term. So when you move from June 21st, we broke out just after June 21st. June and then 21st is probably over here. So this kind of moved right probably before June 21st. So it's very close to a direct dollar up, gold down. Now, I'm not 100% sure that we're going to move higher in the short term. I still think there's downside left in here. I do think that there's a possibility this is a shoulder, head, shoulder, and we end up somewhere maybe even down here. And the reason I say that is I just don't see the buyer stepping in here. Usually when there's a black candlestick like this, where it opens high and ends lower, the momentum is still coming to the downside a little bit. So I still think there's some sellers in here. Same with GDXJ. Same with SILJ. They all experienced this is a bearish, almost a bearish piercing. And we've got this black candlestick where it opened high and came lower. There's still sellers out there. Someone is selling this in all of these ETFs in gold and silver. Now, looking at SILJ, so if you look here and we were to tie this all together, this is what it would look like. And we would open high like this. This is a daily chart. This is 1 day on SILJ. We opened high and we've been coming down. We tried fighting back up and we're coming down again. This means that the momentum is heading lower on this particular day right here. That's why I think we're still going to head a little bit lower, is because the momentum is carrying us that way on the daily basis. So when you see a black candlestick like this, it opens up high and goes lower throughout the day. The momentum is going down. And that's why I say that more than likely there's still some sellers here and we might see some further downside. This is where it's coming from and where it stems from. Then I'm tying it to individual stocks. We have an uptrend that broke to the downside and we could potentially move lower here. This could be a bigger pullback. This is a kind of a large, almost a shoulder, head, shoulder type pattern. If this were to project downward, we could come back down here. It's a possibility. I'm not selling anything. I'm just holding on. The underlying market conditions are all ripe for a gold and silver bull market. But I'm just telling you, short term, there could be more downside here. This does not look like a bullish setup. First Majestic, I didn't draw the line in here at $15, but this looks like on a short term, like we have some some sellers still out there. I don't see buyers stepping in anywhere here. It's all been sellers. No big up days, no whacks for the buyers. It's just sellers coming in and muting every buyer out there. It's just muting it every day. Now here's Tutin Resources, is one of my favorite royalty companies. We have been kind of pulling back here. Watch out for a break to the downside. We can move substantially lower, but I'm also watching this move to the upside. We are zoomed in here. On a big picture view, it looks much better, but I'm just looking from a bearish viewpoint here and seeing if we're going to break to the downside. So I'm watching. A Cisco looks, now some of these royalties look pretty good. This one looks like it's got some momentum to the upside. Doesn't look too bad. Larger up day, smaller down day. Not horrible. But looking at the overall sector, we could see this come under pressure if the entire sector starts selling off. Ely Gold, looks like we're starting to put in a little bit of more of a top, maybe short-term little top to pull back more towards the 50-day. But the volume here, and again, this got bought out, so we should really be looking at Gold Royalty, which is this guy. But that one looks pretty good. I like this setup where we have these large up days and then the small. This is like picture perfect textbook style right here for everyone to know. Large reversal candlestick. This is called a bearish piercing. We went down, opening price, closing price went down. Opening and closing price is contracting. The body lengths are getting smaller as we come down, came right to a point, and then just shot higher the next day. This is a complete slowing and about to turn, and then we turned. That's a textbook turn right there. Perfect. Same with this back here. You can see a big move higher and then the slow leak off of sellers. And then it just kind of leaked higher, sideways to higher is what I would say. Here's EMX Royalty, another royalty company. We have pulled back. It's starting to basically consolidate down here. It doesn't look too bad down here. So that's what I've got. I still think I don't see the buyer stepping in here and just pushing this thing higher. I don't see any reversal candlesticks that make it obvious. Now, we don't have to have reversal candlesticks. We don't have to have an obvious reversal to have a reversal. Remember, this is looking at charts is basically looking in the rearview mirror and projecting forward. It's a probability. It's not 100% accurate. So I'm still looking for at least some sort of indication that a bottom's in. I don't see the buyer stepping in a lot of these ETFs. I don't see the buyer stepping into some of the stocks. What I see is weakness. So I'm being patient. I'm just waiting and watching. The market conditions that push gold higher is usually real negative rates. And we have declined on real negative rates without an appropriate move in gold or silver. I also see that TIP, tips, they've been going up. And usually gold follows tips. So at some point, maybe we snap back higher. We'll see. But right now, it's been moving on lower. I still see sellers in the charts. I don't see the buyers laying down good candlesticks or good buying pressure anywhere for this to move on higher. I'm just as, I sit here, I'll call it as it is and the way I see it. I am a gold and silver bull long term. I own lots of physical metals. I am 100% aligned with the bull market in gold and silver. I just don't see the buyer stepping in on the very short term. That's all. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.